Very successful, and he won the race here 15 years ago ahead of the Audi Team Abt drivers of Matthias Ekström, who was a double champion in DTM, and Tom Christensen, who has a successful DTM career but was of course best known for his excellent work at Le Mans as a 9 times winner of the Le Mans 24-hour race. So Mika Häkkinen with the lap record, a driver of course who the chairman of the ITR who organised the DTM, Gerhard Berger, used to race against. We had John Alesi fourth that day as well. And here we have amongst us some other former Formula One drivers on the grid, including Robert Kubica and Timo Glock. You see the front two drivers on the grid then, all set and ready to go. They'll have the opportunity throughout the course of the race to use DRS. That will be deployed in the race for much longer periods than we've had before. So we are going to have DRS activated for 50% of the expected total laps of a race this year, much more than the 12 laps they're allowed to use them for last year. That will really come into play on the shorter circuits like Zolder, where we have more laps in a 55-minute race. Here at Spa, of course, it's a much longer lap than most places, but it will still make a difference. There's no 3-second DRS window anymore either. You don't have to be within 3 seconds of the car in front to use that. The drivers, the chasing drivers, are now free to use that. And there are a few occasions where you cannot use DRS. One of the most important ones being if you're the race leader, you can't use the DRS system. The angle of the rear wing changes to give you more speed in a straight line. 18 degrees it can change to, that's the maximum limit this year. And makes you sleeker through the air. Push to pass also can be used for an extra boost of 60 brake horsepower this year throughout the course of the races. Grid then is cleared. There to the left of your picture, getting ready to go off onto the formation lap, is Robin Freins for Team Abt Sportsline. The Audi there with the Dutchman aboard, and alongside him Nico Muller, his teammate, a 1-2 for the team here. Perfect start so far for the season. But that man, René Rast, just behind them, is going to be one to watch in third place for Team Rosberg, who not only did they take René to his second title last year, but they were the team's champions as well at Team Rosberg. So they will be very keen to improve upon third place as the cars now head off onto the formation lap. An opportunity for the drivers just to get their eye in one more time. The first of 18 races in this new season. It's been a long time coming. This is race number 505 of the DTM. It's 10 months since race number 504. And we can't wait to get going. Everybody safely away off the grid. And just spotting, I'm not sure Ferdinand Habsburg is there, is he? So Harrison Newey, the last car away, and I'm afraid it doesn't look like they managed to get Ferdinand's car repaired for the race either. So really frustrating start for Ferdinand, who went well in pre-season testing at the Nürburgring. So 15 cars to take the start of the race. Right there is the long Kemmel Straight, which is mostly gradually uphill once you get to the top of Raidillon out of Eau Rouge, and slightly downhill. And they go from a whopping top speed of 300 kilometers an hour over 180 miles an hour, and they drop down through the first real heavy braking zone at Le Combe, the right, left, right sequence of corners, down to 120 kilometers an hour. They come down then downhill, as you can see, into this spectacular Bruxelles corner, which is what used to be called Rivage. You can see out in the distance there the paddock where we all are. It's a roller coaster through there, third gear, 140 kilometers an hour, down through the unnamed left-hander, down into the daunting Pouhon, which is taken this corner, this sweeping left-hander, at 190 kilometers an hour in fourth gear. It's just shy of 120 miles an hour. Used to be a whopping big gravel track there, but these days there's lots more runoff, but it still requires pretty huge bravery, I reckon. They come out of there towards turns 12, 13 and 14, the right-left S-bend section through Le Fan in third gear at 140 kilometers an hour, and then they go down towards the double right at Campus and the Paul Frere curve section, which used to be known as Stavelot. Third gear for that one as well at about 120 kilometers an hour. And then they will head out onto the back stretch of the circuit here, which is blindingly quick out through the forest, through Blanchimont in particular, taken the left-hander at 260 miles an hour, absolutely flat out in sixth gear, before they make their way to the heavy braking zone, coming back towards us in the paddock and overlooking the start-finish line for the last sequence of corners, the bus stop chicane. Hard on the brakes. You're going from, you know, pushing 300 kilometres an hour down to first gear for this one, and down to about 60 kilometres an hour, 37 miles an hour. So it's very easy to outbrake yourself. It's going to be a great overtaking opportunity. And there you can see the cars then make their way to the grid.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. Perfect.
Drivers cannot see over the noses of the cars from their low-slung position in the cockpits. They have to be guided onto the grid space over the team radio. If they go just fractionally over that grid space, they risk a penalty. It's also worth pointing out they're so low-slung in the cars that when they go up Eau Rouge, at the top of Radion, they cannot see over the crest of the hill. It's a leap of faith. They go into that corner flat out, absolutely blind. So it's a real driver's circuit, this. Robin Freins on pole position then for the first time in the DTM. Can he get his maiden race victory? Alongside him, Nico Muller. Row 2, René Rast in the red and white Audi, and Mike Rockenfeller in his luminous yellow and blue Audi, and then Sheldon van der Linde and Timo Glock, the first of the BMWs, 5th and 6th on row 3. Red lights come on, and we finally go racing. DTM 2020 is underway. Off the line, a very good start for Robin Freins. Nico Muller, he's under attack though from René Rast, who's at the inside. He might try and get the lead of the race here into La Source. Mike Rockenfeller's coming up the inside of Nico Muller now. So Rast is momentarily going to go second. Third place still going with him though, the green and white Audi of Nico Muller. These two fighting for the championship last year. Muller is coming back at him, side by side as they go through Eau Rouge. Neither wants to give way, but Muller's got the place back. Back to second he goes. Third place now for René Rast. And then you've got Rockenfeller and Glock all over the back of him now, trying to pick up a toe as they go on the Camel Straight for the first time in the race. Heading down towards the braking zone. Rast is going to have the inside line, but he's got to watch the mirrors here with Rocky trying to come around the outside of him. Brave stuff this, but Rast is having none of it. Closes the door. Timo Glock then tries to come through. Sheldon van der Linde and Marco Wittmann watching just behind. They go over the crest now and down towards Brussels. The gap between the top two, just a couple of car lengths. Spectacular corner this. Great racing, very, very close, but they gave each other just enough room. And everybody, it seems, survives the start of the first race of the 2020 DTM campaign. Kicking up the dust, kicking up sparks already as they push harder. The lap times are going to be, you reckon, even quicker than we had in qualifying, because the track conditions really starting to come good now. And the race leader away well. Robin Freins under no real pressure at the moment, just watching the pack in the background. The red and black Audi of Loic Duval just showing its nose, trying to find a gap, trying to find a way through to gain a position. But at the tail end of the top 10 at the moment, they follow each other through. Pit stop windows reintroduced this year as well for the first time in 4 years. So yeah, you have to wait until lap 5 to pit now. The pit window opens when the race leader crosses the safety car line on lap 5. So we're not going to see things like Marco Wittmann diving into the pits at the end of lap 1, which we saw at Misano last year, and going from last to first. That has changed as on the brakes and down to first gear for the first time into the chicane comes the race leader, Robin Freins. A bit closer to him through this section though is Nico Muller in second place. It's a bit close in the background. Two cars go side by side. Do they squeeze through? Just about. It's tight. It's Freins, Muller, Rast, Rockenfeller, Glock and van der Linde. The top 6 as they go through. And then just behind it's Fabio Scherer in the blue car, on the blue and white. Jonathan Aberdeen, BMW, swings to the inside, over the curbs, at the inside at La Source. He's got his nose in front, but they're going to be absolutely wheel to wheel as they come downhill now and towards Eau Rouge. You can just about go two abreast through Eau Rouge and Radion, but you need absolute trust in the driver that you're racing against. Aberdeen has nosed in front though in this little squabble as he gets through. Over the top of Radion he goes, the car skipping and hopping and dancing around, but he makes it through. Just behind in the red and white ART Grand Prix car is BMW man Robert Kubica, who we heard from on the grid, having his first DTM race start, and right on cue, you go on board with him now. And then at the back of this quartet, Harrison Newey on his DTM debut as well. So these four battling away for 12th position now, having a really close scrap. Robert Kubica getting into this. Slower car ahead. Was that Sheldon van der Linde dropping back down the order? Quite possibly. Up ahead, it's side by side as well on the way through Brussels. No quarter given though, no change of position. push to pass now enabled on this from this second lap of the race. The gap from first to second is 0.7 of a second. And there you can see Harrison Newey getting a little bit closer to the tail of Robert Kubica. Through there goes. The fastest first sector of the race so far has gone to Timo Glock, currently running in 5th place. And there is the car. I'm afraid I was right. It was a flash of red and yellow. I thought it was. It's Sheldon van der Linde who was suddenly slowed. We saw it from Robert Kubica's onboard camera. And he has dropped way down the order with a problem. A shame for Sheldon, who went very well in both the free practice and the qualifying session this morning. So the South African dropping down the order. The gap from first to second, 0.7 of a second at the last sector still. Robin Freins just keeping Muller and Rast at arm's length. Rockefeller was 4th in last year's championship. Next up, then Timo Glock, the ex-Grand Prix racer. Now with plenty of experience in the DTM, he goes through to round out the top 5. So up to 6th place will come Marco Wittmann now. Glock, still the leading BMW exponent, just ahead of him. And here we go, a tidy move up the inside there on the way into La Source, and that was nicely done by Jamie Green to move ahead of Lucas Auer. Jamie, who's so often over the last few seasons had a very bright livery, now with the mean-looking silver and black livery on his Team Rosberg Audi, gaining a place there. He's up 2 positions already then, partially thanks to the problems that van der Linde has had. Here's a replay of the move. He knew exactly where he was going to put that car and exactly what he was going to do. And Jamie Green, with all of his race experience, the 17-time race winner, multiple championship frontrunner, goes through to put himself up to 9th place. Nice replay that. As we go back to the lead group, Rockefeller and Glock just going through the shot. Marco Wittmann is another one that's gained a few places in this race, from 8th up to 2nd place. Gap has increased slightly from 1st to 2nd to just 1 second now. Still pretty tight, but the gap has grown a length or so between Robin Freins. Now coming back out of the pits, here we're about to see Sheldon van der Linde. So the issues with his Team RBM BMW hopefully have been sorted, although he doesn't look very quick still, does he? So I'm afraid he's still cruising as he goes back onto the circuit and heads back down towards Eau Rouge. So effectively this is going to become a test session now for Sheldon, in the hope of getting the car sorted ready for tomorrow's qualifying and race 2. And then Nico Muller trying to hang on to the coattails of Robin Freins. A race winner in every category in which he's competed. The race leader. Dutchman leads, Swiss driver 2nd, German driver 3rd, 4th and 5th and 6th. Loic Duval, the Frenchman, in 7th. Lucas Auer, the Austrian, in 8th. Jamie Green, the British driver, in 9th. And Philipp Eng, the Austrian driver, rounding out the top 10 at the moment. Past the commentary box window goes the race leader. And the gap's ebbing and flowing a little bit. It's come down to 0.8 of a second through the last sector. So using the DRS, I suspect, to just close that gap around the quicker section through corners like Blanchimont and gain a bit of an advantage is Muller, but he's not close enough to pick up a toe either. On board, a wild ride through the top of Eau Rouge and Raidillon onto the Camel Straight for your 3rd place driver, René Rast. Just losing touch a little bit with the race leaders, but there's a long way to go in this race. In turn, Mike Rockefeller is just dropping back a little bit now as well. Timo Glock in 5th place, 6th place Wittmann, Duval 7th, Green up to 8th place now has gained a position as well. So 3 places gained for Jamie so far in the race, making a pretty decent start of this. That gap's coming down again between the top 2, I reckon, through this first part of the lap. Certainly through the left-hander at Russell, a bit ragged, a bit wide on the curbs, coming down the hill now for the race leader Robin Freins, heading towards the incredibly fast section at Pouhon, the double left-handing sweep which they take, as I say, at 190 kilometers an hour. I'm going to replay of the start now. Smoke from in the left brakes of Muller, but no issues with the car, it seems. Everybody away pretty well, no real dramas off the line. A replay on board with Mike Rockefeller in 4th place. Rast had the best start of the top 3 and got alongside, you'll remember, Muller for 2nd. He thought about having to go for the lead of the race on the way to La Source as well. But Muller, look how brave Muller is here to the left of your picture in the green and white Audi, to keep it hanging on around the outside and to commit to getting that place back on the run down in towards Eau Rouge. That was really, really brave stuff from Nico. And he trusted that René Rast would not dart off his racing line, would give him just enough space. Tremendous driving from both of them. I wonder how many more times we're going to see Rast and Muller going wheel to wheel, as we did so often in the 2019 campaign. Over the line then, the race leader. The gap's down again, 0.6 of a second. Still not close enough to really pressurise him, but Muller is working really hard to stay with him. The bigger fight seems to be coming further back, though, because fifth place is about to change hands. Marco Wittmann trying to go around the outside of Timo Glock at La Source. You've got Loic Duval just behind as well. Wittmann has done it. Terrific move around the outside. And now look at Loic Duval in the 28 car. He's going to get alongside Glock. He's going to get his nose in front. He got the better exit coming out of the hairpin, and he's through relatively easily. So Glock, in the blink of an eye, loses 2 places here to go from 5th down to 7th. And look at this for the race lead. Muller's got it done at the end of the Camel Straight, ahead of Robin Freins. Got a brief glimpse on board there. And from being 0.6 of a second back when we left them at the start of the lap, he very quickly made the most of that DRS, I reckon, down the Camel Straight. So Robin Freins couldn't do anything about it. He can't use it as the race leader. But now, of course, he is the hunter, and he will have the opportunity to pull a similar trick later on in the race. So Muller, the new race leader. Freins down to 2nd place for the first time in the race. Then Rast and Rocky Wittmann, as we saw, moving up to 5th place, making decent progress in this race as well. With the next driver into your shop coming into Pouhon, Loic Duval. Timo Glock in the number 16 BMW lost those 2 places. Also has to watch the mirrors from Mr. Jay Green, who's now pushing hard, having a really good run here. And we expect no less from a driver of the quality of Jamie Green, closing all the time here. A runner-up in the DTM, twice in the top 3 in the championship, never quite taking the title, but he still has an opportunity this year. Back into the garage, the Sheldon van der Linde car being worked on. So Team RBM just trying to get the car back out there, get some running time in. It'll all be good data, good information for the team and the driver if they can do that. But we go back to this battle between Glock and Green for 7th place. Glock in the BMW under real threat now from Jamie Green, who is right underneath his rear wing. He's going to go for it. He's a very decisive overtaker. He's a bit deep into the corner because he had to brake so late. Timo didn't make it easy for him, but coming out of the chicane, a bit wide on the curbs. He's got his nose in front, and he'll have the better line going in towards turn 1 at the hairpin. So terrific stuff from Jamie. I tell you, that was the last of the late breakers there. Terrific battle between them. And just ahead, a great battle developing between Wittmann and Duval as well. Duval looking very, very racy here. Can he find a way through at the top of Radion, maybe going onto the Camel Straight? He'll have to hold back here. Not close enough to launch an attack, but now he might be able to go on a real run here. Although he seems a bit further back, actually. Wittmann's done a really good job of keeping the BMW just far enough ahead, just out of reach. So as they go on the brakes, down to 3rd gear, once more at the ends of the Camel Straight, the gap just grows ever so slightly again on the way through Le Combe. Coming out of that now, down towards Bruxelles, and again, Wittmann quick through that section. So for now, Loic Duval unable to squeeze past him. Wittmann's still the leading BMW driver. So Bert Montpé, the boss of the RBM team, the Belgian squad, overseeing matters, I'm sure, with the squad as they try and get van der Linde's car sorted and out. We don't know what the problem is yet, but we hope he gets back in the race to get some running at least. Nico Muller, the race leader's got the gap out now to 1.1 seconds ahead of Robin Freins. You're on board with the 3rd place car of René Rast. Mandatory pit stops if you're new to DTM as well to consider. Pit stop window after lap 5. So we're now coming into that period where they can have the mandatory pit stop for tyre changes. And look at this, flat out on the way through the back of the circuit, through Blanchimont, hang on to it at 300 kilometres an hour, 6th gear. Now watch this on the brakes. Look how quickly a DTM car can slow down to just 120 kilometres an hour. Right, left, out they come. Rast looks a bit closer to me, to the tail of Robin Freins, than he was maybe at the start of the lap. The leader. This is allowing him to get away. Muller 1.5 seconds clear now as they go through onto the start of a new lap. Sheldon van der Linde happily is going back out. Yellow flag in turns 18 and 19. That's the end of the lap at the chicane. I stretch my neck, look out the commentary box window, but I can't see far enough. See part of the corner, but not all of it. Green flag again now, so somebody had a moment there at the end of the lap, but seemingly recovered. Second and third come through into your shot, Robin Freins. And that man, number 33, René Rast, a multiple Porsche champion in the Porsche Carrera Cup, Germany, and Porsche Super Cup before he moved into DTM. Just getting the back end kicking out a little bit on his Audi, and there we see the 99 machine of the Team Phoenix driver Mike Rockenfeller. His long relationship with Team Phoenix, with whom he's had great success over the years. Back on board with René Rast, about to make his way down this roller coaster section through the left and down towards Pouhon. There he is. Mike Rockenfeller is hanging on now to them. They've certainly left the next group behind. Big gap developing to fifth. There's still nose to tail between Marco Wittmann, the 2014-2016 champion, and Loic Duval. And Duval in the number 28 Audi closes, not close enough to attack. It's not really an overtaking opportunity at this part of the lap. Don't think he'll have a lunge here either, so he might just wait until they get towards the end of the lap, because there definitely will be an opportunity as they come into the final two corners of the lap, coming into the chicane. Marco Wittmann is not going to be an easy driver to overtake, that's for sure, with all of his experience. One of the drivers that's raced here at Spa, of course, but not in the DTM. Coming up in single-seater racing through Formula 3, you will have had experience racing here. Just edging away now, I reckon, from René Rast, aren't they? In third place. Rockenfeller hanging on to Rast, and then that battle still going on between Wittmann and Duval. Marco Wittmann now coming out and joining them in the background. Jamie Green, he's almost with them now. So the next three over the line, 5th, 6th and 7th, go past the comms box window. And yet Jamie Green looking good here. He did a 2-minute 12.9 on the last lap, whereas Duval did a 2 minutes 13.7 and Wittmann did a 2 minutes 13.8. So more than 3/4 of a second quicker. Loic Duval sees that as a hurry-up call and goes for it and makes the move. Stick on the way into Eau Rouge. Terrific stuff. He'd had luck there a couple of times before, but this time he committed to it. Moves ahead of Marco Wittmann and puts himself up now, the Frenchman, into 5th place. Watch Jamie Green, though. He's a man on a mission in this race. Shows his nose. DRS deployed on the silver and black Audi on the way into Le Comte. No way through. Marco Wittmann's got the line covered. But Green is definitely the quicker of the two drivers at this stage of the race. He's come from 11th on the grid. If you can get past Wittmann, he'll have moved into the top 6. He'll want to do it rapidly as well, because Loic Duval has been released all of a sudden and he's quickly edging away. So Jamie Green will need to get the job done on Marco, preferably from his point of view on this lap, so as not to let Loic Duval get too far off into the distance. Here we go. He's got a better run coming down towards Pouhon. He's going to have the inside line. We know that Jamie will commit because that's what he always does. Great move, well thought out, and a high-speed game of chess that. He was just working out where the BMW was a bit slower, and he got that job done really coming out of the preceding corner. So that's good news for him, because it's only taken him a couple of corners to get past Marco Wittmann, whose next problem is going to be looking in the mirrors to see Timo Glock potentially getting bigger and bigger. Here's another look then at this really brave move from Loic Duval. Coming down, it's the old start-finish straight here at Spa. Full commitment down into Eau Rouge. Huge compression on the drivers as they go through there. 3G of lateral force. They're pushed down literally into the seats of the cars. Well, their neck muscles, arm muscles, complete strain on them. And suddenly their heads, already heavier with their race helmets on, become 3 times heavier. Huge fitness required, but lots of the drivers have had more time than normal to prepare in terms of their fitness with lockdown. They've been doing lots and lots of training and stamina training, the drivers have been saying, so they come into this ready to fight this new season. Right, Muller is 2.3 seconds clear now in the lead of the race from Robin Freins, who in turn is just under a second clear of René Rast in 3rd place. Then there's a nearly 5-second gap back to Rockenfeller from the race leader. Rocky is just about 1.5 seconds behind Rast, but 4.7 seconds behind the race leader. And then Duval and Green, who we've been watching progressing, especially Green, progressing through the order. Loic Duval, though, looking quick. He was definitely being held up a little bit by Marco Wittmann. Marco, though, has kind of held on to the tail of Jamie Green on this lap, doing an excellent job. Loic Duval, another driver, will be looking for his first win in DTM this season if he can. Best results, a second-place finish at Zandvoort back in 2017, which is his first season of the DTM. A couple of seasons struggling in the DTM to get the results he would have liked. But 2019, a pretty good season for Loic, finishing in 7th place with Team Phoenix. Got a podium as well at Misano last year. Right, we're now watching the battle that is starting to really develop for 3rd place here, because Mike Rockenfeller, the 2013 champion, has got the bit between his teeth. You're on board with the driver he is chasing down for the final spot on the podium. And you can see there the gap coming down from 1.9 seconds to 1.4 seconds on the graphic over the last 3 laps. So Rookie is the quicker of them at the moment. René Rast not completely 100% happy with the handling of his car in qualifying, and maybe that is still becoming an issue for him here. He looks like he's really having to fight it at times, doesn't he? Through some of the fast sweeping bends. René Rast driving the wheels off the car, but Mike Rockenfeller is all over the back of him as they come towards the braking zone into the chicane. René Rast puts the car in exactly the right place, though, on the racing line. There's no chance of Rocky getting through yet, but can he get a better exit here and maybe have a stab on the way into La Source? I reckon he's going to have a go. They draw alongside as they come towards the start-finish line, just about with his nose in front as he came past the commentary box window as Rocky. He's on the outside line, though, so he's going to have more distance to travel. He's going to have the inside line for René Rast coming back at him. They're still going to be side by side, and again he's got his nose in front. It's going to be a repeat of the Loic Duval move, but not quite as spectacular. And in any case, the job is done, and Rocky is through up into 3rd place. René Rast now with a car in front of him. See him fighting the wheel as he makes his way through Eau Rouge and Radion. This is the rear-facing onboard camera from Mike Rockenfeller, who's just pulled off that move, looking back at René Rast now, and you can see what a climb uphill it is. It's a long old walk there, done it many times in the past, and in these hot conditions today, you get a bit of a sweat on going up there. It's a long old circuit to walk around, and it's going to be a physical challenge for these drivers as well in what are becoming increasingly hot conditions. Still looking good in terms of the sky above, but you never know here. There's a 30 to 40% chance of some rain in the next hour, but it should be a miracle worker to work out the weather at this part of the world, because it changes so rapidly. Here's a replay then. Rocky on the right, René on the left. Tried, didn't quite get through there, but he knew if he could just hang on around the outside, he'd have better traction and he'd have the job done before they got to Eau Rouge, and that is how it played out. Mike Rockenfeller moving up to 3rd place. He started the race 4th. Got work to do to try and catch up to the leaders, but you can see how he's already left behind René Rast. So René struggling here. Mike Rockenfeller looking good at this stage of the race. Going to manage the Hankook tyres as well in these hot conditions. There are lots and lots of fast corners here at Spa, so it can put a real strain on the tyres, and it can mean they have to really look after them towards the end of their life before the pit stop and at the end of the race as well. So that's another factor to consider in what a relatively long 55 minute plus 1 lap race is whether the drivers can manage tyre degradation and keep the speed going throughout the course of the race. Robert Kubica we're seeing in at 13th place, just behind Jonathan Aberdeen and just in front of Harrison Newey. And Kubica on his debut, well, 4th quickest in the free practice session. He'd definitely like a bit more rain. And we've got René Rast into the pits. So René Rast into the pits, first of the leaders to come in, first of the drivers to come in to make their mandatory pit stops in the race. Well, you can see he was struggling with the car, and it makes sense to come in now, having just lost that 3rd place.
After turn 1 to the finish. DS, you have more than all the others. Use it for the virtual race as well. And maximum rear tire saving. We are good. Out.
7.2 seconds the stop time there. We've seen better. It wasn't too bad. We'll see how that works out. Jonathan Aberdeen is coming to the pits as well, just below the commentary box. So there he is, coming into his pit box now. A maximum of 9 team members can work on the car. Only 1 wheel gun can be used. The 9th team member is designated as the tyre catcher to stop tyres rolling down the pit lane. That's a better pit stop, 6.7.
Pit stop light. Watch out, white line.
Yeah.
Copy.
Watch for the white line, as in don't cross that white line there onto the track. That's the merge line. If you do so, you face a penalty. So Rast and Aberdeen, the first of the drivers to make their mandatory pit stops, dropped to 13th and 14th positions. Half a second quicker the pit stop for BMW Team RMR on Jonathan Aberdeen's car. So Rockenfeller trying to home in, and I think successfully so, on Robin Freins. He definitely left René Rast quickly in his mirrors, and Rocky a 2 minutes 13.6 on the last lap compared to a 2 minutes 14.7 for Robin Freins. So he was much quicker, 1.1 seconds quicker. Not as quick though as the race leader, who's still flying along, Nico Muller, a 2 minutes 12.857 last time around. So this is becoming the battle for second place in the race, and Robin Freins is going to bail for the pits. So Robin comes in now, sensing that his tyres might be at the end of their premium life as well.
Copy pit lane, Robin. Rast was dying on the last 2-3 laps, so you have 14 laps to go. You need to manage the tyres. It will be tight on the exit with René, and you are still P2 virtually.
So Robin wants to be coming out.
I have no front, man, like nothing.
Not happy with the front tyres.
Go.
6.6 seconds.
Remember, you need to finish the race and watch the white line on.
Yeah, remember you got to finish the race, Robin. Thanks for the advice. So Robin, 6.6 seconds, his decent stop as you come out ahead of René Rast is the question. Here comes Rast on the way into La Source. Rast was fourth and Freins was second before it all started, but he's not as close. Even though he had a faster stationary pit stop, it's not going to be that much of a gap between them. And Rast about to come over the brow. There he is. So Robin Freins effectively will hang on to his second, or potentially hang on to his second place. No, he won't. No, Rast has come out in front. So where did he lose the time there then? Because it was definitely a quicker pit stop, 6.6 seconds compared to 7.2. So on the way in and on the way out, that's where he lost the time. Rennie maybe attacked the in lap a bit more. They all have to stick to the pit lane speed limit, but Rennie was 2 places behind Robin before they came into the pits, respectively, and now he's ahead of him. So Robin will be displeased with that. So for now, Nico Muller leads. Mike Rockenfeller promoted up to second place. Luke Duval's moving up the order as well pretty nicely. The gap between him and Jamie Green, the two that have been marching up into the top 6, is 2.2 seconds. So Green's not catching at the moment. In fact, it was a 10th slower on the previous lap. It's going to be a long second stint. There were both drivers, René Rast, I suspect, and definitely, as we heard, Robin Freins, both, as the leader comes in, both struggling with the tyres.
Copy pit lane, Nico. 14 laps to go. You will meet René. He stopped 3 laps earlier than you and had quite tyre degradation issues. So approach the second run as your first one. Pace looked really good. René has 9 laps of DRS left.
So there, the advice and clarity of the situation from the team.
Go. So remember the white line. René has 9 laps of DRS left. You had a really good long run pace.
So DRS every lap.
So Felix Fechner, the engineer for Nico Muller, giving him the lowdown on the situation. So René Rast, quick, stopped earlier, but he'll maybe struggle with the car later on in the race. There is René in the number 33 machine. This pit stop period seems very much to have worked out for him. First, he's managed to find a way past Robin Freins. And now with Nico Muller, potentially beatable all of a sudden. Nico having had a very good start to the race. Mike Rockenfeller up into first place, but yet to make his stop. Jamie Green promoted to second. Lucas Auer promoted to third as the first of the BMWs. Philip Eng fourth, but none of them has made pit stops. There's Muller then. He's much closer, isn't he? So René Rast, that pit stop period really worked out for the reigning champion. So effectively, once all the pit stops are done, he should go back up to second place. We'll see where Rocky comes out in all of this, because remember, Mike Rockenfeller had got ahead of René Rast just before Rast came into the pits. But of the pit stoppers, it's Muller, then Rast, and they're not that far behind. The number 4 car, Robin Freins, who definitely lost out compared to those two. So certainly haven't been a long way behind Muller. You can see him in his target sights now, René Rast. Close enough to breathe down his neck yet. But as I say, the issue might be, if he was struggling with the tyres towards the end of his first stint, his second stint is actually going to be a longer stint. René Rast having pitted earlier than the rest of the front runners. This is where Robin Freins came out of the pits initially in front of René Rast, but of course he had to get up to speed. René went left, went right, was not going to miss up on that opportunity. And that was pretty gutsy stuff. Must have been horrible looking in the mirrors for Robin Freins, seeing this red and white missile suddenly behind him when he had expected to be a fair bit clear. On board the replay with René Rast, charging his way down towards...
So target is P2, P3, definite podium. Laps remaining 13. You will meet on pit exit BMW.
Rocky in. You will meet on pit exit a BMW. Right, let's see. Is he going to come out in front of... he's going to have a pack of them around him. He's not going to come out in front of any of them, is he? So Rocky out on track now. Where is he, though, relative to Muller and Rast in particular, and Freins? The top 4 of all now made pit stops. Sheldon van der Linde several laps down, who's just behind him, and just in front of him Fabio Scherer, who's yet to make a pit stop. So there is Mike Rockenfeller in the 99 car, and there in the background was Muller. So he's through into the lead effectively once all the pit stops are sorted. He's going to be Mike Rockenfeller, I reckon. We'll confirm it when they come back through. So there he is, the 99 car, side by side just in front between Harrison Newey, number 10, and number 13, the lighter blue car of Fabio Scherer. Rocky desperate to get past them on his new tyres and not get held up and make the most of this pit stop period, which has gone his way. Still being frustrated here, though. The two in front of him racing on. And there, I reckon, 2 cars behind in the background was Muller. He's down the inside of one, gets up the inside of Harrison Newey on the way into Pouhon. And he'll be keen to dispatch pretty quickly of Fabio Scherer as well, who's, of course, on older tyres, having not yet made his pit stop. Rocky has to wait, though. This is going to be frustrating for him. Feels a bit unlucky to get traffic around such a long lap here, but that's the way it's panned out for Mike Rockenfeller. He now, though, is surely going to have more traction on the new tyres, and through he goes for track position, but of course, effectively he's way ahead of this battle. Here's the replay. So you had Scherer ahead of Newey having their own little battle here going on, maybe not aware that effectively the race leader, Mike Rockenfeller, was coming up to them. They're not obliged to let him through because they are racing for track position, and Rocky got a bit crossed up there. He had to go on a tight line through the Brussels hairpin. Jamie Green, now the race leader. Has he come into the pits? Yes, Jamie Green has come into the pits. So there's Muller through. He pitted on lap 12. Eng's going to be the next one over the line, but he's yet to go in the pits. Then Rast and Rocky no, so he wasn't in the background. Rocky has not made it up enough time to get himself on terms with Muller. Green having his pit stop just underneath the commentary box. I think it must have been in the distance in the background, that the other green and white car of Wittmann. Yes, it was. There he is in the number 11 car. So Muller has held the lead of the race effectively. Green was leading, but he's now in the pits, so it's Muller who will, on the next lap, come through as the new race leader, or the next sector. Then Rast, then Freins, then it's going to be Rocky fourth. So Freins and Rocky are the two that have missed out on this. Loic Duval made his pit stop in between them as well on lap 12, so he's got that done. Wittmann has been in the pits. So it's just Philippe Eng, who's currently running second, and Harrison Newey, who's currently running in 8th place, that have yet to make their mandatory pit stops with just under 22.5 minutes to go. René Rast on the track, 8.9 seconds behind Eng. So he's about 11.5 seconds behind Muller. So he's fallen back. You could see him. He wasn't that far behind him when he came out of the pits initially, but the gap has begun to grow. Muller with a very quick lap last time around, 2 minutes 9.756 seconds, whereas Rast only a 2:11.4. So Muller is looking very strong indeed even at this stage of the race, and he should have a bit more tyre life than some of the others around him as well. Only a couple of drivers have pitted after him. Fabio Scherer, Jamie Green, who's just come in, and Lucas Auer. He managed to push those tyres on a bit longer in that first stint, 2 or 3 laps longer than most of his rivals. That should be Harrison Newey making his way into the pits at the end of the lap. And Philip Eng to come in as well. Eng coming in, Newey coming in, I would suspect soon.
Line on exit. 11 laps to go. 11 laps to go. You have 8 DRS lap left. Out of the 5th, you have to push everything you have.
So Philip Eng in, Harrison Newey in as well, as I thought he probably would. So they've both come in together. They were 2nd and 8th before it happened, before the pit stops happened, but they're going to, of course, drop down the order now. Now here's Jamie Green under threat from Timo Glock as they come out to start a new lap out of La Source down towards Eau Rouge. Jamie Green on fresher tyres though, 2 laps younger than the tyres of Timo Glock, so he should, if the car's working well, be able to edge back away from Timo. These huge rear spoilers on the cars. See the flaps opening up for DRS to make them even slicker in a straight line down the Camel Straight. Jamie Green looking good at the moment. And here's a replay. Well, we're watching the pit stops. This was him this is how he got through ahead of Timo Glock. It was into La Source. A move which he's pulled off a couple of times already today in the race, Jamie Green. This is the perspective of Timo Glock as Jamie came up the inside of him on the way into the hairpin. Fastest first sector of the race so far has just gone to the 3rd place driver, Robin Freins, 36.4 seconds. 4.7 seconds down on René Rast, but we'll keep an eye on the gap. Remember, Rast, slightly older tyres. So Muller leads, now that it's all sorted out. There he is. And has actually managed to build his lead with a couple of very quick laps recently in the 2:09s. The only driver to achieve that. So Muller, he's more than 8 seconds clear now of René Rast. I think he's grown 2 or 3 seconds since René emerged back from the pits and Muller emerged out just in front of him. So 8 seconds plus now for him. Freins is 3rd, but looking quick. Philip Eng was 4th across the last timing beam. He's held on to 4th place. That will be impressive. Then Rockenfeller, Duval, Wittmann 7th, Glock 8th. No, Eng is, that was just as they cross the timing beam, because Rocky is going to come through. Eng should be somewhere in and around 10th place, I would have thought. So Rocky's come through the timing beam in 4th, Duval 5th, Wittmann 6th, Green 7th, Glock, who he just passed, is 8th. And then it should be Philip Eng and Harrison Newey, as I say, somewhere around the top 10. Auer's got to us first though. Auer's 9th, Eng is 10th, and on for the last point at the moment. So that should mean Harrison Newey is going to come past the line in 11th or 12th, just outside the points currently. Aberdine's just gone past, he's 11th. Should be Newey next, I reckon. So final point at the moment going to Philip Eng. He's going to have pretty new tyres. He might be able to make some progress in the final stages. Number 16 you're looking at is Timo Glock, currently running in 8th place. And Sheldon van der Linde just behind him, had problems with the car early on. Went into the pits a few times, so this has now become just a test session for him, and they're still not running particularly quickly. 2 minutes 16 last time around for Sheldon van der Linde. Gap 9.7 seconds now. Muller is absolutely flying at the head of the field. Excellent form all the way through, really, the 2019 campaign, to keep René Rast honest in the fight for the championship, to take it pretty much down to the wire. Can he get his 5th DTM race victory? Last win coming in the last weekend of the season at Hockenheim. Muller is well clear of Rast. Rast is 3.2 seconds clear of Freins, who we know has been flying from the sector times. And on that lap, a 2:11.9 for Rast, a 2 minutes 10.3 for Freins. 1.6 seconds quicker. Rocky also flying, 2 minutes 10.9 for him, so they're both catching René Rast back up. René struggling with the tyres at the end of the first stint, as I say, has got a longer stint to manage the tyres this time around. So the car is just not handling as well, not holding on to the tyres as well as some of the other cars. And Rene is going to have a real fight in his hands here, not just to stay second, but to even stay on the podium, because the two cars behind are homing in at a pretty rapid rate of knots here. There is Mike Rockenfeller in 4th place. Rear view camera shows the undulation and the steep rise suddenly in a blink of an eye. The pit wall is a million miles beneath you. Flat out now. There's Freins number 4 in 3rd. There is Rocky number 99 in 4th place. And the gap between them, 2.6 seconds. Personal best for Mike Rockenfeller through sector 1. And he was 0.6 quicker than Robin Freins in that sector alone. And they're both absolutely flying after Rene Rast. Rene is really struggling now. He's done a 2 minutes 13 on the last lap. 2 minutes 10.8 for Rockenfeller. They're going to be with him in the not too distant future. Rene Rast is going to have to drive a very wide car for the remaining, 15 minutes or so of this race, plus 1 lap, if he's to hang on to his position. You can hear it coming in. There he is, a situation that's only going to get worse for him, you would have thought. They're absolutely reeling him in. So Freins is catching Rast, but Rocky is catching them both. The race win might be a bridge too far, but second place is very much on the cards here for Mike Rockenfeller. At least 3rd, at least a podium finish. And if he can do that, that'll be his 31st visit to the podium in the DTM. Mike Rockenfeller, who's such a consistent driver. He's not had that many wins in his DTM career, only 6. But he's had a championship title. He's had the consistency. He's been in the top 4 in the championship, I think 4 times, winning it in 2013. 4th in last year's championship, and he keeps banging in the points and podiums. The consistency is going to be absolutely key in this compressed season of DTM. Over the line they went then, and the gap 0.9 of a second. 2 minutes 12.6 for Robin Freins, 2 minutes 10.9 for Rockenfeller. He's eating up the advantage of the Dutchman here. So from Robin's point of view, it might have to be that he'll concede a position to Mike Rockenfeller, though he won't want to, but gain a place back, potentially, on Rene Rast, and end up on the podium still. 3rd place. Let's see what fight he's got. Let's see if he can find any more speed in the car. How many DRSs have they got left as well? Might be something to consider. Marco Wittmann, as is so often the case, is the leading driver in a BMW in 6th place. But he's got to work quite hard as well, because Jamie Green has been flying after him the last couple of laps, and that gap has come down to under 2 seconds now. So one to keep an eye on further back. Wittmann in 6th, Green in 7th. Catching him rapidly, a bit quicker than Wittmann as well, is Glock and Auer in 8th and 9th, but they're a bit further back, and they're both slower than Jamie Green. Big twitch again from the front of Rene Rast's car as he makes his way into Porn. He's just not got that car and the setup settled as much as he would like. Mike Rockenfeller is now very much with Robin Freins. Robin Freins is almost with Rene Rast, and this is a 3-way fight with 13 minutes to go for second place in the race. Muller is miles clear, 14 seconds give or take. And he seemed to have no real dramas with the tyres at the end of his stint. He's a very smooth driver, Nico Muller, and he's got that car set up well, it seems. So Muller and the AB Sportsline team looking good for the win. But what about second place? There's 2 more places on the podium, and there's 3 drivers going for it here. And 3 very, very good drivers they are. Mike Rockenfeller, the quicker of the 3. Robin Freins has got the hurry-up call here. Shows his nose, in the mirrors at least, to Rene Rast. Rene struggling to hold it on the racing line, even through some of the slower corners now. A brilliant driver, but the setup is not quite working for him at the moment. Over the line they go, right in front of me in the commentary box. And a look at the inside for Robin Freins. Is he going to do it? Understeering wide is Rene Rast. Rene's got his nose in front still, but Robin Freins is coming at him now, and so too is Mike Rockenfeller as they thunder down towards Eau Rouge, getting close to the pit wall on the inside. Rene Rast is going to hold it for now, though. I thought he was going to have a go then coming out of the corner. He definitely had to think about it. But now another opportunity surely is going to come at the end of the Kemmel Straight for Robin Freins. He's got to attack and defend at the same time. He kicks up the dust as he puts two wheels on the grass. Mike Rockenfeller is going to try and follow him through. They might both get past Rast here. They will. Freins goes second, Rockenfeller goes third, Rast goes from second down to fourth, and there is absolutely nothing he can do about it. Rockenfeller is not done yet. He's got one, he wants another place here, he wants second position. He knows he's quicker than Robin Freins from the way he's caught him up. He's already got the line on the way into the right-hander at Brussels, and through into second place goes Mike Rockenfeller. Beautifully done, and he should now, you'd expect, pull away from this pair. Robin Freins, I think he's going to pull away from René Rast. And René still got some work to do here to even get the fourth place finish, because getting bigger and bigger in the mirrors is Loic Duval in the number 28 Team Phoenix car. Loic's last lap was a 2 minutes 12.2, which was 1.3 seconds quicker than René Rast. In fact, René, with all the traffic and trying to fend off the other two, had a very, very slow lap last time around, but by and large, more than a second a lap quicker over the last few laps has been Loic Duval. He's pulled clear now of Jamie Green. Marco Wittmann's only 1.7 seconds behind Jamie as well, so a queue forming, still a long 10 minutes plus, and then another lap at the end of that to go for René Rast. It's looking relatively easy, all of this though, for Nico Muller. And the Castrol Edge-backed number 51 Abt Sportsline car. He has looked absolutely serene all the way through this race. It's just that one point where Rast closed up through the pit window. Driver into the pits in the background. Is that Rast coming in for more tyres? Yes, René Rast has had enough.
Okay, we have 6 laps to go. DS push past.
I don't know what's wrong.
Even René Rast cannot make the car go any quicker.
No idea, just no idea.
The rear tires are completely gone. No rubber left. And we expect some other guys to suffer as well. At the moment we are out of the points. We have 5 laps to go.
What?
The most unhappy René Rast, as you can imagine. He's no idea what's going on, he said. The rear tyre's completely gone as we get the replay of the double loss that he had to go from second to fourth place. He could have stayed out, but ultimately he's probably going to lose even more time because the tyres were just not working for him. The car has used them up too much, so opting for the pits, going to lose time. He's going to drop back, but maybe at least he can do something for the last few laps of the race. Mike Rockenfeller conversely coming through and gaining 2 positions very quickly, one after the other, from fourth to second. So René Rast just trying to get a championship point now if he can. Currently running in 10th place. At least if he can make the car quick for a few laps and get something out of this. Ooh, look at the tyres. That is a struggle, isn't it? So, whew, no wonder he came in. He'd have been absolutely going backwards on those. And he was making the right call there to come in. Absolutely no idea, he said, what's going on. They have to really have a look at this to try and get that car working for tomorrow's race. You heard the conversation between René and Florian Rinks, his engineer there. Florian just trying to keep René calm and get him to finish the race. On board then with Mike Rockenfeller in second place. Still a long way down on the race leader, but comfortably clear of everybody else behind him now. 2 minutes 13.2 for the race leader Nico Muller. 2 minutes 12.9, so quicker, but not massively quicker for Mike Rockenfeller. The gap is 21 seconds anyway. This is a huge advantage in DTM. And there, Robin Freins and Jamie Green now very much in the same picture here. Loic Duval's already got past Robin Freins for third place while we've been watching the dramas for René Rast. Robin, we know he's struggling with the car and with the tyres, and he's going to lose another place here. Nothing he can do about it. Again, he's just not got the grip. So Jamie Green comes through for fourth. Robin Freins down to fifth place. And I reckon Marco Wittmann's got time to catch and pass him as well with 7.5 minutes left on the clock. He's 8.4 seconds back. But Robin Freins' last lap time was a 2 minutes 19.002. The quick guys in the top 3 are doing 2:12s and 2:13s. That's hugely off it. Now, maybe he had a moment somewhere, but either way, He's incredibly slow at the moment, and wouldn't be surprised to see him bail for the pits and get some new tyres on as well. Jamie Green, I think, was a bit surprised with how quickly he got onto the tail of Robin Freins there, got the power down, and laid some of his own Hankook rubber down on the tarmac. He chucked 600 brake horsepower into the rear wheels. So it's been a good race this for Jamie Green. From 11th on the grid, he's in 4th place now, and might still be able to do something about edging towards that podium. You never know. If he can keep the tyres going, no chance for Robin Freins though. Look how far behind already he is, Jamie Green. He only lost the position at the start of the lap. And Wittmann's going to be looming large in the mirrors soon, I reckon. Even though he's also struggling with the tyres a little bit. Might be some places to be gained further back from those who pitted late, like Philip Eng, who's now in 9th place, Harrison Newey, who's now in 13th position. So the order: Muller leads, 2nd place Rockenfeller, 3rd place Duval, 4th place for Freins, 5th Green, 6th Wittmann, 7th Clock, 8th Auer, 9th Eng, and 10th René Rast. But René at least has just done a personal best in the first sector on his new tyres. Jonathan Aberdeen out of the points in 11th place, Fabio Scherer 12th, Harrison Newey 13th, Robert Kubica is 14th, Sheldon van der Linde 4 laps down in 15th, and there was a non-start for Ferdinand Habsburg after damaging the car in free practice. Timo Glock then now the best of the BMW drivers coming through ahead of Marco Wittmann. Yeah, Wittmann struggling again with tyres. Timo Glock easily getting past him. That change for 6th place. Timo's last lap time of 2 minutes 16, down into the 2:17s now for Marco Wittmann, so his charge has ended. And further back, we see the number 25 car of Philip Eng moving ahead at the source of Lucas Auer. So that will put Philip Eng up to 8th place. And as I say, he was one of the drivers to pit very late relative to the others. Over the crest he comes. Philip Eng 6th in the championship last year. Another driver like René Rast who came up through Porsche Carrera Cup racing. Although he's still got to watch his mirrors here because job not yet complete. Trying to pick up the toe, Lucas Auer on the way into Le Cove, but no, he's done the job. So Philip Eng ahead of fellow Austrian Lucas Auer on his return to the DTM. Lucas having had a year away from the championship and back now with a new car, a new team, a new brand as well. Having previously been a Mercedes driver. 22.1 seconds is the advantage for Muller. He must be on the radio going, where's everybody else gone? Because I just can't see anybody. This is just me left in the race because there's absolutely nobody anywhere near him. You have to say the team, AB Sportsline, have got the setup absolutely spot on that car. Bearing in mind, Nico is teammate to René Rast, who has very much not got a good setup on his car. I wonder if René will be asking to see a little bit of Nico's data overnight to try and figure out why one car is so much quicker than the other and so much better at managing the tyres today than René has been able to muster. Might be 10th place is all he's going to get as well, because he's 9.5 seconds down on Philip Eng, who's still going fairly rapidly. 3.5 minutes left on the clock. Leader's already through, 23 laps complete. There's Mike Rockenfeller crossing the line, 23.1 seconds behind him. Then Loic Duval, 1.5 seconds behind him. And now Mike Rockenfeller's times have suddenly dropped off. A pretty sluggish 2 minutes 17 on that lap. So you got Duval and Green both much quicker on that lap. 2 minutes 14 for Duval, quicker than both. Green, 2 minutes 13.1. Could be a podium finish here for Jamie Green. Very much so. Mike Rockenfeller, those tyres have just suddenly fallen off. The pace has just gone, just almost on that lap and a half, just dropping away by a couple of seconds. And it's understandable because, as I say, the teams haven't been able to test here. There's only one free practice session at Spa, whereas you normally get 2 free practice sessions going into a race. And the one free practice session they did have this morning wasn't very helpful because it was damp. They were going around most of the time on slick tyres on a damp circuit, so they didn't really get much information there either. And even qualifying, it was quite a lot cooler than it is come the race. So the data, it's not like the teams can look back at years previous because they haven't been here for 15 years. Certainly not in this type of car. Mike Rockenfeller is about to be swamped though, because Loic Duval charges past for second, just drives past him. It's going to be resigned to the fact that Jamie Green is going to do exactly the same in a moment or two's time as well. And that will be Rocky, sadly for him, off the podium as Jamie Green comes through as well and makes the move on the way into Le Fan. And again, powerless to do anything about that was Mike Rockenfeller, just like René Rast was earlier in the race. They'll have learned a lot, these teams. Going to be an awful lot of supping over data and working out when to make the pit stop if the conditions are the same tomorrow. It's a big if because we're at Spa, but if the conditions are the same, some of these teams will have to work out a much better route around the race. Just completely understeering there for Mike Rockenfeller. No grip left. Conversely, Loic Duval's car sticking to the road beautifully. But he's got to watch Jamie Green because Jamie, yeah, he's on the podium now, but can he get another place? Can he get second position in this race from 11th on the grid? Be a great Jamie Green charge this if he can do so. Over the line they go. 1 minute and 11 seconds left on the clock, plus 1 lap once the time is done. So should be time for 2 more laps here, including that extra lap for Jamie Green to find his way into second place. The Swiss driver, Nico Müller, is a mile clear. Loic Duval, the Frenchman, in second. And the British driver, Jamie Green, with the bit between his teeth now. Third place, excellent. Second place, if he's got half a chance, you can guarantee he'll have a go for. Jamie Green thundering through, the only driver in the DTM, in the current grid, to have raced a DTM car here before all those years ago. It wasn't a particularly good race for him. He finished in 19th place. But Jamie Green can drive a car pretty much anywhere. Doesn't matter how long it's been since he raced here. And here he is now, swarming all over the back of Loic Duval's Audi. Jamie Green pushing on in the Team Rosberg car. The inside line starting to open up on the way through Brussels because beginning to understeer more and more. Struggling to get the car turned in is Loic Duval. DRS is left displayed on the windows there as well. Pretty evenly matched in that respect. Jamie Green absolutely the quicker of the two. Rockenfeller is gone, look in the background. Nowhere to be seen now. Through to the left-hander at Pouan. Every time Jamie Green is able to take a tighter line here. He's managed those tyres very well indeed. And here we go, the change for second place. Could it come here? Halfway alongside, not yet. Loic Duval just about closes the door in time. Time has run out, so when he crosses the line next, Nico Müller will be starting the final lap of the race. Lap and a bit to go for these two. Loic Duval is pushing so hard to try and keep Jamie Green behind him, to try and keep that car on the racing line. But each time it goes wide through the apex and on the exit to the corner. And here comes Jamie now. Left-hander coming up. He's already through, though. He's done it. He's second. Jamie Green from 11th to second in the first race of the season. The race leader has crossed the line just past the commentary box and into La Source for Müller. So we're on the last lap of the race now. And Jamie Green, what a terrific drive, terrific effort by him and the team in the day, which started quite badly with the puncture, the right rear puncture at the end of the free practice session. Qualifying didn't go according to plan, but they have found the sweet spot in the race, and he's driven beautifully to come through. He's taken every opportunity he's had in this race. Great effort by him. A flash of green and white as Nico Müller's Abt Sportsline Audi thunders on, absolutely oblivious to anybody else's problems. And here we're going to see René Rast now having a go at Philippe Eng. He's done well to catch him. I know he's got newer tyres, but through he goes. That's another place gained. Every championship point counts. And he'll gain another one there. He started, they've both been going up the order, but he's up to 6th place now with that move. Lucas Auer has been gaining some ground in the race as well. So Rast, 5th place now for Rast. Eng in 6th, Auer 7th. Glock struggling a bit in 8th place. Freins is down to 9th. He's just dropped off a cliff in terms of his lap times, and he didn't come in for new tyres for a second pit stop like René Rast, and that seemingly the wrong decision, because although he lost the time with the pit stop, René Rast has emerged with much more points to his name than as Robin Freins, who's in 9th, with Marco Wittmann also struggling big time now in the last few laps, down in 10th place and the final points holder at the moment. Tell you what, though, he might not get that point. He did a 2-minute 20 last time around, and Jonathan Aberdeen did a 2 minutes 14.9. 5 seconds between them, and just about 5 seconds a lap the difference between the pair of them. So Aberdeen might get himself a championship point here if he can keep up that speed. Last time through Blanchimont, though, coming up for the race leader, Nico Müller, looking for his 5th race victory in DTM. following on from that terrific season in 2019. He's the driver that's going to pick up the early championship lead, because at the end of the first of 18 races this season, the checkered flag waves for the first time, and it goes to Nico Muller.
Awesome job, Nico. Awesome job. Really good pace today. Perfect start into the season. Remember to save fuel now and collect pickup.
Well done, Nico Muller. Well done, Jamie Green, across the line in second.
That was masterclass, Jamie. Really well done. Thanks a lot. Get as much pickup as possible, please.
Yeah, pickup.
Okay, RLS off. Switch, cool down the car as much as possible. So we ended up P5. It's the best what we could do with the tire deck, and we will investigate and came up with a plan.
So Timo finally finishing.
Look at this battle over the line.
Third best BMW behind Philip and Luca.
Jonathan Aberdeen did it over the line. Look, just coming out of the last corner, Jonathan Aberdeen snuck through to get ahead of Marco Wittmann and to get the final championship point. We just saw it in the background. You've been hearing the team radios and all the instructions about picking up loose rubber and making sure the cars are over the minimum weight limit. Nico Muller, a huge roar as soon as he crossed the finish line over the team radio. Some drive that was. Beautiful car to drive, I imagine, as well, compared to some of them out there who've been really struggling. He wins by 19.5 seconds. An excellent second place from 11th on the grid for Jamie Green. Loic Duval in third. Very strong drive from Loic as well to get the final spot on the podium, having started 7th on the grid. Mike Rockenfeller held on to 4th place. René Rast, actually 5th place. Not bad, really, considering the car was really struggling to maintain the tyres. And he had an extra pit stop. 5th place, not bad. While we're watching all the battles going on for the final 2 spots on the podium, he quietly was able to charge his way through the field and pick up 4 or 5 places in the last 5 minutes of the race to get 5th place. Philip Eng in 6th place with a good drive as well. He was one of the last to pit. I think only Harrison knew he pitted behind him. And then Lucas Auer on his return to DTM in the points in 7th. Timo Glock in 8th. Robin Freins massively struggling with the car at the end of the race. Just about the slowest out there. 9th place. It's been rearranged so that it's down in the pit lane. Of course, sadly, we've got no fans here to witness it, but I'm sure the teams will give a big cheer from a distance as well. Super slow-mo of the race winner, Nico Muller. Great shot that. You can see the heat coming generated from the cars as well. What's become a very hot afternoon here at Spa. The rain never really threatened after we had that damp start to the day in free practice. And onto the podium they come. Nico Muller, Jamie Green and Loic Duval. And now the winner's national anthem. A moment of reflection on the podium then as he listens to the Swiss national anthem. A proud, proud moment for Nico Muller. Takes the first win, takes the first 25 points and takes the early championship lead. He wraps the flag around him. And it's now time for the champagne. And that will feel good. Well, for now it'll feel good. It'll feel horrible and sticky when it get back to the garages, but for now a bit of cool after a hot race here at Spa. Well done to the winning team as well. Audi Sport Team, AB Sportsline, who were runners-up in the team standings behind Team Rosberg last year, as Nico was runner-up to René Rast in the championship. excellent job by the team, at least in terms of that car. Disappointment on the other side of the garage for René Rast to be in 5th place, but it could have been a lot worse. They made the right call in making the extra pit stop. And as he so often did last year, René Rast scraping some good points out of not ideal situations. Still very much in the fight. Lots of head scratching there will be overnight as they look at the data, try and figure out what they need to do with the setup of the cars, tyre pressures, when to come in for the pits. And that's if the weather remains as it is today. Terrific effort by Nico Muller then, who holds aloft the DTM trophy. Some 10 months after he last made it up onto the podium. Some 10 months since anybody last made it up onto a DTM podium. It's a different atmosphere. No crowd, no fans as yet, but they'll all be watching back home. And if they're Nico Muller fans, they will be absolutely delighted with the way the season has started for last year's championship runner-up. 19.5 seconds clear. I'll be surprised if anybody wins a race by a greater margin for the rest of the season. So the cars will go into overnight parc fermé conditions. There'll be another qualifying session tomorrow morning to set the grid for race 2. So it's a whole new day. Unlike in other championships where sometimes the race results give you the grids for the next races. There is then the results of the race and the championship points table. Jamie Green in 2nd place after a terrific drive from 11th on the grid, and we can hear from him now.
Here he is, Jamie Green. What a fantastic race. Coming from 11 to P2, that was absolutely phenomenal. You put so much pressure on Loic, and in the end you got him, so it's a happy 2nd place, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean the race, to be honest, my first lap was not fantastic. My start wasn't that good, but then yeah, I just had a lot of pace, and